Hi, this is Tranisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about it's okay. So, what made me want to talk about it being okay is that through life, and especially through like my fasting and all of the things that I've been through in my life, through my journey, through all of these things, I've just been learning more and more to just put my faith in God, to put my trust in God. And even when it seems like everything's not going to be, it is going to be okay. And everything is never going to work out the way that you expect it to. Like, I have had conversations with certain people, or went to certain things, or interviews, or started jobs, or dated people, or whatever else it is. And I'm just saying in general. And no matter what it is, it never goes the way that I expect it to, ever. And it's not that, I would expect me to control my life, because I know that God is in control of my life, and things are going to happen the way that they're intended to happen. It's not that I can just write my own story and say, I met this person and it worked out, the end. Or if I could say, I went for an interview and I got the job right away. Like, or I built this friendship and we conquered the world together. Like, I don't get to just write my own story. Do I get to be a participant in it? Yes. Do I get to think about and control my outlook? Yes. Do I get to be faithful and walk alongside God and allow Him to lead me in my path? Like, walk alongside Him while He's carrying me through areas where I'm weak, and then walk behind Him where He's already cleared a path for me? Yes. Now, can I control the outcome of every situation? Absolutely not. And sometimes I think we really forget that it's not about us. It's not, life is not something that we just control. It's not. Like, we don't control what's going to happen with certain things. We don't control how people are going to respond. We don't control how people feel at all. And so sometimes it may feel like, and for me, honestly, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate people being honest. And it might not be what I want to hear. It might not be what I expected to hear. But do I respect it? Absolutely. When people are upfront with me and honest with me, especially when it comes to like my friends and people like that, it really makes me have a whole nother appreciation for them, a whole nother like level of respect for them. When people can be upfront and honest with me and tell me the truth, even if they know that I might not agree with it or like it, or it might not be what I want to hear, or whatever else it is. It's really good for people to just be honest with me. And even though it may suck in the moment, even though it may seem like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Or even though it could just be like an unfortunate situation, or it could be fortunate, whichever way you want to look at it. And I'm choosing to look at everything that's happening in my life in a fortunate way. Because, like, do some things suck when you don't get the job, or you don't get the person, or you don't get the car or the house, or whatever it is? Of course it doesn't feel that fortunate in that moment, but I also know that God continues to bless His people. And if God intended for anything to work out with the job or a person or whatever else, it would work out, because it would be of God. And so whenever something doesn't work out, what I tell myself, and I think it will be helpful to other people, is this isn't of God. God has better. And then I think back to the thing that I say in this video several times, because it's relevant. Is I just think I picture that meme or whatever, with Jesus kneeling down in front of the little girl, and she's holding on to a little tiny teddy bear. And then behind his back is image is a giant teddy bear. And he's just telling the little girl to just let it go, so that he can give, because he just says let it go. Just let it go. And what is presenting is that if she lets go of the thing that she's holding on to, whether that be the job that you think that will fulfill you, but really it'll take all your time, or the friendship that's toxic that you need to release, or the person that you feel like, I really have to be in this relationship because we've been together for 20 years, or I really have to do this one thing or be with this one person because they seem perfect. What we think is perfect doesn't mean that that's exactly what we need, what God thinks that we need for our life. What we want isn't necessarily what God wants for us. And it's easy to think, well, I'm spiritual and I walk with God and I'm Christian and I'm doing the right thing. So, if this person aligns up with my values, if this job aligns up with my the things that I have a lot of that I have a lot of knowledge in, the things that I have a lot of experience in, then I should be in this job. This is a job for me. This is a job that will want me. This is the things that will happen and things like that. And really, that's not how life works. Like, it's nice to think of things happening that way. Like, oh, you see this job? I want it. I got it. I'm not going to start singing because we know I can't sing. But, anyways. But yeah, so it's just, man, it's mm, it's gonna be okay. It's okay. I promise you, God is gonna take care of everything. And although it may seem difficult in a moment when you don't get the job or whatever else, everything is gonna work out the way it's supposed to. You might not be in the job that you envisioned. You might not have the place or the car or be in the environment that you imagined or whatever else it is. But God will see to it that you have everything that you need. You are not going to want for nothing as long as you have God in your life. Want for anything. Sorry, I used improper English there. Sometimes I do that, but that happened. Okay, so trying not to make this video too long because I do have to go in like 5 minutes. So this will be a really short, hopefully, video unless I gotta pause it and then just come back once I get back from the thing if it's still up. I don't know if it's gonna do that, but but I just really have been doing a lot of self-reflecting, and even when I have conversations with people, like when you go to certain interviews, sometimes you'll talk to someone about a job and you follow up with them or something. They'll say, "Oh, we're going to call you in like a week or something to let you know if you have the job." And in a week, you either don't hear anything or something else, or in a few days, and we don't hear anything, and you follow up and they're like, "Oh, we haven't made a decision." Or they say, "Oh, we decided to go with someone else," but they never reached out, like, and you reached out, and you just feel like, man, like it really sucks that I didn't get the job or whatever else it is. And your heart could have been set on it because you think the pay is going to be something that advances you to another level, but God advances you to another level. And that's not me. I was listening to a sermon earlier. So sometimes it gets into my spirit and I really do like take some things from the sermon and I allow it to just be a part of the things that I'm learning for the day. So we really do, even when all of these things don't work out, even when the even when the relationship doesn't work out, the job doesn't work out, the friendship doesn't work out, whatever it is in your life that you had hopes for or that you thought about in that way, like for a second, or whatever else it is, like everything in your life will be intentional. Your friendships will be intentional because they will want it to be give and take. Your job will be intentional because they intend for you to be compensated and to to be competent in that area in order for them to receive something and you to give something. And relationship or whatever else, you intentionality is definitely important. And I'm like, whew. I'm really just like still thinking about some of the things that's going on in my life, and it's not bad things. It's just things that are happening, like normal life things. But, and I also want to make sure that I am being used as a vessel. That whenever I feel myself either getting weak or I feel myself going through something, I always try to come on these videos if God says yes. And I try to use it as a lesson for myself and other people. So if I learned something from it, if I became something better from it or whatever else, then I want to be able to spread that knowledge to other people so that they will know, like, hey, you're not alone in this situation. Hey, this has happened to me too. Hey, it doesn't always seem like it's unicorns and butterflies. Like, yes, you may be attractive, but not every person wants you because you're not every person's cup of tea. Like, yes, you may be competent in an area for a job, but maybe you don't get that job. Next thing you know, you apply for a job you don't even have experience in, and you get the job because God's in it. Like, And that's how I feel like it is in friendships and relationships. God will place people in your life who are supposed to be there. And it might not be for what you expect it to be, but it will help in the area that it's supposed to help in. And sometimes it's just a lesson. It's something that you learn and that you get to pull from something. And if if the people in your life are not being intentional, if they're not if they're not pursuing, like, and this is like, I guess, in a relationship stance, then they're not interested. So we that will knock out like 90% of people. So you're welcome. I need to stop watching that commercial. Mm-mm-mm. But if you know, then you know. I don't want to like say it and then everyone goes and runs and tries to figure out what this commercial is. But okay, so I'm running out of time. And I just want to say in conclusion that, hmm, in conclusion, it's okay. It will be okay. God will work everything out in your favor. It might feel like, dang, or it might feel like, oh my gosh, or like, oh, this sucks. But I promise you, this is just a temporary feeling, just like the temporary satisfactions that the devil tries to give you. So, just like that, even when it's something that you just have to go through to make you stronger, to make you learn things so that you can know what to look for in the future, so that you can focus on things that really truly matter or things that are pushing you in your purpose, or so that you can be intentional with all of the relationships in your life. Like, whether it's like at work or if it's a friendship or if it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, to always be intentional and to know that it's going to be okay. It will be fine. Focus on God, be in your purpose, serve, do the things that you need to do. Be upfront and honest with your friends and family members to let them know like what it is that you actually need from them, or where they are in your life. Like, if you're friends with someone, be honest with them. Tell them like what they mean to you, or like they don't mean to you. Like, if I'm friends with a guy, you have to be honest. Don't just have them in your life because you want to be friends with an attractive guy who is just, you could just pour all your emotional baggage on. And like, really don't use anybody. You need to be upfront and honest with yourself and other people in your life, because you don't know where people's heads are. And you also want to make sure that you are not being used by the adversary to pull someone out of their religion or out of the their purpose. You want to make sure that the truth shall make you free. Like, be honest, be upfront, be honest, be a good person, lead with love and kindness, regardless of how this situation turns out, because you never know if someone's looking at you as inspiration for their testimony. So God can use anything. And and even though it may seem like, oh, it's not working out, this isn't going the way that I want it, I'm never going to do this, or it seems like there's no one, or whatever else, like, there's people out there. There's people all over the world. That's just something, a lie that the adversary tells you to make you give up hope, and we can't give up hope. We are not going to just settle. We're not just going to lower our standards. We're not going to lower our boundaries. We're not going to lead people on when we know that we have no intention of being with them. We're not going to do any of those things, but just lead with love and kindness and be as godly as possible. Can we be there for people? Absolutely. Can you be like, have a conversation with someone? Absolutely. But do not, if you know your intention is not rooted in the right way, then you need to release people from your life. Don't just have them, drag them along because you feel good, because it's good for your ego. You really have to, and I'm not saying that to hint towards anyone. I'm saying this in general because I see it happen all the time. And one of the things that I respect the most about one of my old friends is that they were super honest about what it is that their intentions were, and how they how they carried themselves was really like an inspiration. And for me, I want to be like that. I honestly do. I want to be honest with my friends. I want to be honest with people in my life. I want to be real with them. I want to follow God and look at like the bright side of things. And I want to make sure that I am staying close to God no matter what happens, and no matter how anyone else acts towards me, I want to be the bigger person, and I want to walk in faith. And no matter if I see the outcome or not, no matter if there's like 10 people here like trying to hit on me, or if there's, and I just say that in general, not like I'm trying to like make it into a thing, or if there's like 10 job offers, like regardless of what's happening, I need to be focused on God, and I need to be discerning, I need to be honest, I need to be in my faith, I need to be in my word, I need to be doing the things that God intended for me to do, this so that he can do those things for me, because I promise you, no matter what you're going through, it's okay. It's going to be okay.